Dementia residents in dementia units say that relatives need to bring in the news and get feedback from us. They need to talk about the news and what's happening, keep us updated and informed, and then get that feedback from us. This really is the compassion that we need. Compassion is information. We need information, we need news, we need to know what's going on so that we can converse with people, converse with each other, the staff and the relatives. And if we're starved of news and information, then we've got no chance of doing that. So when relatives visit, say on a Saturday morning, if they can bring in the newspaper, which is often the big newspaper of the week, bring it into the dementia unit and then share the paper with the relative and have a cup of coffee, bring a takeaway in for both of you and share the extracts about the news that you know that your parent would like. I mean, even in advance, you can read the paper and cut out or tease out those articles that you know that your parent would like. Like if your father is into racehorses, then you can go to that section, especially if there's some nice photography of racehorses and the latest winners and their form, etc. You can just embellish on that and discuss that with him. Whereas if your mother is into the royal family and there's news on the royal family in the world news section, then you can discuss that. And there's plenty of other news, of course, for you to be interested in, and as well get that win-win factor with your parent. I mean, it's always much better when you can get a topic that you're both interested in. But if you're not interested in it, but your parent is, of course, go for that first. And often what you find is that when you go into the depth and detail of something, it becomes interesting for you. I mean, it may be that your parent isn't so keen on reading the newspaper, but they love National Geographic. Well, that's fine. Bring in the National Geographic, read that instead of the newspaper, and find articles there that you can both be interested in, which is not difficult. Everything in the National Geographic is glorious, wonderful, and interesting. And so just go with one topic at first. Rather than going for a big range of information, it is better to go for one topic, depth and detail. Getting the interest in that, get one thing going well. So if it's the elephants in Africa, work on that. National Geographic short have topics on the wonderful elephants of Africa. Then of course you can go into the Sahara Desert, the droughts, the dryness, global warming, the difficulty of elephants to find food, the wonderful creatures that they are, the heaviest, biggest, most enormous animals in the world, 6,000 kilograms, the male adults are, 1,000 kilograms, the baby elephants. Just amazing statistics just about elephants, one animal, you know, and every animal has stunning characteristics about them. But the thing is that once you capture the interest of the dementia resident and they start to really take an interest in these wonderful elephants, and hopefully you are as well, this is when the cognition starts happening. The thinking, the clarity, the concentration, the confidence in thinking, and get your parent to communicate information back to you. Get their feedback, the feedback loop, not to just give information, equally expect them to make the effort and give feedback back to you. So say you're going through the article on elephants, you've got the photo spread, you've read a little bit about it, your parent, you've got them to read out loud the headlines so that you know that they can read, they have got that cognition, maybe not the fine print, but they can at least read the larger print at the top. And from there you can ask your mother, say, well, Mum, you know, what is it that you like about the elephants in Africa and this article here that we're reading from the National Geographic? And she may well say, oh, well, I like the baby elephants. That's enough. You can then start to talk about the baby elephants, that, you know, you've learned some wonderful things about the baby elephants, that after 20 minutes they are being born. Mum, did you know, I've just read here, did you know that within 20 minutes of a baby elephant being born, it can stand. Really, dear? And then in 2 to 3 hours, it's walking with the herd after being born. 2 to 3 days, it can practically keep up with the herd. Really, dear? Yes, it's just incredible, that dear elephant, little elephant, what effort it has to make. Nature, all of Mother Nature, and all the mothers and all the babies, and how hard they have to work to keep their young safe and fed and watered in this Africa where there's hardly any water, and they have to walk for hundreds and hundreds of miles on these special ancient trails to find water. I mean, all of it's so interesting. And so this is the way, you know, you can spend 3-4 Saturdays just on elephants with your mother. That's the best thing. Then you can go to another animal once you've, you know, learnt everything you need to know about the elephant. So questioning and getting feedback, and leaving the magazine with your mother, saying, okay, Mum, here's the magazine for you to read for the week. Now also, might be a good idea to get her some new prescription glasses. Just check. Now, Mum, can you read this print here? I know you can read the top heading about the elephants in Africa. Can you read the little print? Well, dear, it's all rather blurry. I'm sure I could read it, but I can't read it because I can't see it. That's the problem. So often the problem. I'm sorry, Mum. So you haven't been able to read because you can't see. It's terrible. Okay, so we'll get the prescription glasses sorted so you can read the fine print. And I think I might just get you, how would you like a National Geographic subscription? I think they come out once a month or something. Would you like me to get that for you? Oh, yes, dear, that would be marvellous. I've always enjoyed that magazine, the National Geographic magazine. Okay, so we'll get your glasses, we'll get your National Geographic, and then we can both have a nice time when I visit, learning all about the wonderful animals in Africa and everything else about the world, this wildlife and fauna and flora, and fauna and flora, and sea life as well they go into. So we'll be learning a lot. So that's it for today. Questioning, giving information, bringing in information, making sure that your parent has glasses to read the information, discussing it, depth and detail, getting subscriptions for the magazines or newspaper they enjoy. I know. It's a bit of work initially to get it all set up, but once it's set up, it just rolls along nicely. So it's just a very good idea to get these things set up well. And then you can just relax and enjoy the journey as well. So I've written about these topics in depth in the Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and the Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit. This book, everything you need to know for a relative going into a unit, everything you need to know once they're in the unit. Good reading, not difficult, not academic, but interesting, detailed, practical, positive solutions, how to help. So it is really a good idea to read these books, especially this one for when your relative is going into the unit. Read it before they go in so you're prepared, because there's so much to know and it's just too much to try and absorb everything quickly if you're not familiar with the medical environment. Definitely to read this book. And of course these videos help as well. So thank you TikTok and YouTube for your support and subscriptions, and those viewing, please subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thank you.